Hello South Africa, John Steenhuisen here in Pretoria, in Tshwane Municipality, in front of the Union Buildings, where we've just signed the historic coalition agreements that are going to bring multi-party coalitions to the cities of Tshwane, Johannesburg and Ekurhuleni, but also Mogale City, as well as a number of municipalities around the rest of the country. This is an incredible day today because it really signals the end of the road for the ANC's one-party domination. Places like Johannesburg, we have a DA mayor in Mpho Phalatse. In Tshwane, a DA mayor in Randall Williams. In Ekurhuleni, a DA mayor in Tania Campbell. And in Mogale City, a DA mayor in Tyrone Gray. Together with the multi-party executive committees and mayoral committees, these municipalities are now ready to hit the ground rolling with service delivery. The negotiations have been long and tough, but we have been absolutely committed to the values and principles that we committed to at the beginning of the process. And that has now yielded agreements that we believe are going to bring stable, value-led government that focuses on uplifting the poor, on providing services, and turning these cities into engine rooms of job creation. This is just the medicine that South Africa needs to get it moving forward again. It also comes at an incredible time for South Africa. We were able to announce these a day before Reconciliation Day, as parties have reconciled their differences and differences of opinion and come together in the interests of the people of South Africa. It's also an early Christmas present to South Africa, because what it means is that the road to 2024 has begun. And that road has begun with bringing the ANC below 50% at a municipal level, and it's going to end in the 2024 election when we do the same at a provincial level, but also at a national level. And we're going to end up with a new government in the Union Buildings, which are behind me, which is why it was significant that we signed those agreements here today. This is a new era for South Africa, and one which should give South Africans hope and vision for a new future, an inclusive growth, a future with jobs, a future with service delivery, and most importantly, a future with a government that's going to put the people of South Africa first. I'm joined here in this historic occasion by our newly elected Johannesburg Mayor, Dr. Mpho Phalatse, and our Gauteng leader, Zuma, who was part of the negotiating team that led to these historic agreements. I'm going to start with you, Mpho. Do you want to tell us a little bit about what your plans are and how you feel about today?
What a momentous occasion. I'm celebrating. I was part of the negotiations when it got to Johannesburg at some point. I thought it was never going to happen. The negotiations were tough. We all wanted the same things. It was easy. It was not easy to give those concessions, but finally we found each other. Well, 2 days ago I announced a mayoral committee of 10 dynamic MMCs from the various political parties, strong people with experience, with qualifications, who were ready to take the city of Johannesburg forward. Yesterday, I finally got sworn in, the first female mayor of Johannesburg, and the 10 MMCs got sworn in as well. Today, we're meeting this afternoon to start planning and strategizing together. I've got a framework of priorities that we're going to be working with. Firstly, basic service delivery. Secondly, a safe and secure city, a pro-poor city, a business-friendly city, an inclusive city, a well-run city through e-governance systems, and a smart city. So everyone is involved and feels a part of the city during this COVID crisis. We can all be connected and we can interface with the city with ease. I have no doubt in my mind that with this team of MMCs and the inputs that they're going to make into this framework that I've already presented, we will have a Johannesburg that is restored back to its shine, back to the city of gold, back to the economic hub of South Africa and the African continent.
Excellent. And that makes me so excited. You almost want to move up to one of these metros. But Solly, you're the provincial leader here in Gauteng. It must feel incredible to now have all these DA-run municipalities that join mid-vol, and these multi-party coalitions that are now in place, and these new DA mayors that are here in place. What does this mean for Joburg? And what does it mean for Gauteng in a broader sense?
Well, thank you very much, John. It's exciting. I get goosebumps, when I think about what we have been able to achieve. Yes, we have been able to bring so many parties together into a single vision of taking South Africa forward. And we're starting here in Gauteng, as you said, but we're moving throughout South Africa. We're standing behind the union buildings, which for me is a significant goal that we need to achieve towards 2024. Today we have been able to bring parties that are able to then say, let's put our political differences aside and put the people of South Africa forward and put them first. We are now in control of Johannesburg with a majority government. We are now in the control of Tshwane with a majority as well. We are in Ekurhuleni with not a majority, but with a comfortable a number that we're able to then put stability in Ekurhuleni. In Mogale as well, we are going to now add on to Midvaal what we have been wanting to achieve here in Gauteng. One of the things that for me is very much exciting as well is that now we are able to start putting in place a contrast between what an ANC government is versus what a multi-party government will be able to then achieve. The people have spoken, we have listened, and we are now ready to start delivering to the people, not here only in the municipalities in Gauteng, but wherever else the multi-party have come together and said, we need to do something different to bring the change that the people so rightly deserve in South Africa. And this is something that has got me really, really excited, John.
Well, as a leader of a party, I couldn't be prouder of the two of you, and of course our DA activists, our public reps around the country, and of course to our federal executive chairperson, Helen Zille, who led the federal executive negotiating team to achieve these momentous and historic occasions with long hours, huge amounts of work that went into it. So thank you, Helen and the team. But most importantly, thank you, the voters of South Africa, who've entrusted the DA with your future and with the future of your cities. We promise you that we won't let you down. We promise you that we will work harder every day to be excellent governments that deliver for you. So thank you for keeping the faith with the DA. Thank you for your votes. And we look forward to having an incredible report back to you at the end of the 5-year period. But as Solly has said, the real work starts now. And that is the road to 2024. These multi-party coalitions are the first bold steps on this new road to defeating the ANC in 2024, sweeping corruption and maladministration out of the offices, and making sure that we put a national government that's going to get South Africa working, that's going to get things done for you and not for the politicians. And that leads me to the point I want to finish on today, and that is some more good news for South Africa. And another instance where the politicians have been put in check. Some of you may know that a few months ago, Arthur Fraser, the then Director of Correctional Services, made a decision to grant former President Jacob Zuma medical parole for his incarceration after his contempt of the highest court in our land, the Constitutional Court. We felt at the time that this was a terrible precedent, and that once again, medical parole was being abused in South Africa to help a connected ANC cadre out of the trouble that they were in. We saw it with Shabir Shaik, we saw it again with Mr. Zuma. And so we went to court and we challenged this decision, and I'm very happy to report back to you that this morning judgment was handed down in Gauteng, where the judge set aside Arthur Fraser's decision to grant Mr. Zuma medical parole, declared it unlawful, and set the decision aside, which means effectively that Mr. Zuma is instructed to go back to jail. Now, it's never nice to gloat over somebody going to jail, and that wasn't the point of the litigation. The point of the litigation was to get the precedent in place that nobody in South Africa is above the law, and that the law applies equally to all South Africans, whether you're a well-connected former president of the country and the ANC or an ordinary citizen. Equality before the law and respect for the rule of law are the cornerstones and foundational values and principles of any democracy. When they are eroded, the road to tyranny begins. We also know that as the Zondo Commission report comes out, there are going to be many, many more people who are responsible for state capture, for cadre deployment, for theft of public money, corruption and maladministration, and in some instances, blatant criminality. We don't want the door to be opened for those people who, if they are sentenced, to simply walk out the back door of the jail through a farcical medical parole. And that is why South Africans across the board should celebrate this judgment. It has reaffirmed that South Africa is a rules-based society that is founded on constitutional principles of equality before the law and respect for the rule of law. I promised you that the DA would never stop fighting to ensure that the values enshrined in our Constitution were upheld and observed by everybody in the country, whether it's the president or whether it's an ordinary citizen. That is the best safeguard against us moving towards a despotic or tyrannical form of government, and ensuring that our democratic health and our thriving multi-party democracy that has given birth now to these multi-party coalitions is sustained, nourished, and survives in the future for generations to come. We maintain that commitment and we renew it today, that whenever the Constitution comes under threat, whether it's attempts to subvert property rights, whether it's abuse of power by officials, there you will find the Democratic Alliance pushing back and pushing back hard on your behalf, because that's how we're going to build a better future for our country. Thank you for watching today. Thank you for sharing in this momentous occasion. And we hope you're as excited as we are about the incredible prospects that lie ahead for our country, for our people, for our economy, but also for the future.